Hey Pokedad fan club, this is Pokedad, and today we're doing Monday deck profile. We're going to actually profile again two decks this week. The first one's going to be Mega Ampharos from Ancient Origins, and then we'll take a look at Mega Tyranitar, also from Ancient Origins, and then tomorrow night we'll battle them in Tuesday night fights, seeing which one comes out on top. And so we're going to get right into this. Okay, so Mega Ampharos. Now, Mega Ampharos is an electric type. I had to tell you that both of these decks seem to be a little less competitive and also a little more clunky than, say, some of the other decks we've already looked at. But let's just get right into it. So the very first Pokemon we're going to look at is Ampharos. Now, Ampharos EX. Now, Ampharos has 170 HP, lightning type. The first attack is not an attack, it's actually an energy accelerator. And it's a good thing because both Ampharos and Mega Ampharos, before you can even attack, need 4 energies. So his energy accelerator is called Thunder Rod, and Thunder Rod, for one colorless, allows you to look at the top 4 cards of your deck, and any lightning energy you can attach to him. So again, looking at the top 4 cards is not a whole lot, and so you're probably not going to get a lot of energy. You might get 1, maybe 2 if you're lucky. Sometimes 0, but 1 is probably about the average you'll get looking at the top 4 cards. So you attach for 1 turn, then you use the Thunder Rod, get another one. So by the end of turn 1, you might have 2 energies on there. But we're going to talk about other ways to accelerate energy because 4 energies is a whole lot. And so we've got to get these guys moving fast if we want to be competitive with them. The second attack is very, it's not very strong, but it's very important to this deck. Okay, we don't need to play non-EX Pokemon in this deck because of this second attack. I should say non-EX Pokemon and then have them on in place of for attackers. Let me just give you an example. For instance, if we're playing, say, Beautifly, okay, we need a safeguarder. Well, Mega Gardevoir or Mega Tyranitar or even regular Gardevoir or regular Tyranitar are not going to hurt Beautifly. So we have to have some secondary attacker that's a non-EX to hurt Beautifly. Well, and then there's other walls. There's Aegislash-EX. There's now we have Giratina, which is a type of wall for Megas. And then we also have Pyroar, which is a potential wall too. This second attack doesn't no effects on the Pokemon that it's attacking can stop the attack. So it's not affected by weakness or resistance or any other effects that are on the Pokemon. Now, the only bad thing is it only hits for 100. So it's not going to do a whole lot of damage. It's going to 2-shot Pyroar. It'll 2-shot Beautifly, 2-shot Aegislash, and 2-shot Giratina. So you're going to have 2 attacks and hope you don't get knocked out in the meantime. However, the other bad thing is it takes 4 energies for 100. So we're not off to a great start, but let's keep moving and maybe you'll see how this can be a little more optimistic. So we go right into the Mega Ampharos. And again, it has it has 4 energies needed, 2 lightning and 2 colorless, just like the regular Ampharos. It has 220 HP, and it hits for a whopping 120 damage. Yep, 4 energies, 120 damage. Doesn't that sound great? Alright, if that's where it ended, we'd be in trouble. Fortunately, you have the option to either hit for the 120 Or you can choose to do 50 more damage and paralyze, but if you do that, then you take 30 damage. Alright, so if you're going against other megas, most of the time you're going to, when you use this attack, and it's called Exavolt, when you use that, you're probably going to do the damage to yourself, but you are going to paralyze them, making sure that you'll almost guarantee, unless they have some kind of switching card, guarantee that they get knocked out next turn. So for 4 energies, not too bad. 170, that's also going to knock out a lot of basic EXs. So, you know, not too bad. Alright, so the problem is Ampharos and Mega Ampharos, actually the good thing is they can pretty much take on anything that they need. They don't have to worry about walls very much. And they can paralyze. The only thing is we've got 4 energies that we have to get them charged up. So, and there's a lot of ways we could do this. I looked at Mega Manectric, I looked at other possibilities, but I played a similar deck with Mega Gardevoir, and I think, in playtesting this, it seems to be working well. So we use Togekiss. We use a 3-3-3 line of Togepi, Togetic, and Togekiss. Togekiss has the special ability Serene Grace, so whenever you play Togekiss down, evolve it from your hand. You can look at the top 8 cards of your deck, and any energy, basic energies there, you can attach to your Pokemon in any way you see fit. So, between Ampharos's Thunder Rod and Serene Grace, we can usually get this thing charged, the Ampharos and Mega Ampharos charged up a lot faster. Now, one other thing we need to remind you about with Togekiss is it has the Delta Evolution. So on turn 1 you can play Togepi down, turn 2 you can play Togetic, evolve to Togetic, and on the same turn evolve to Togekiss. So basically on turn 2 you can get start getting these energies accelerated onto your Ampharos. And just from the limited play testing I've done, you can usually get Ampharos, a Mega Ampharos charged up, and usually turn 2, turn 3, maybe even sooner, you know, not turn 1, but sometimes turn 2, and usually by turn 3, and usually what ends up happening is if it is turn 3, then you usually have extra energies to begin charging up another one of your Ampharos. So that's pretty good. In the meantime, we also play 2 support. Okay, the first support, and guys, at first I was a little skeptical about this card, but it's going to be really good. All right, you need to get 1 or 2 of these because it's going to be really good, and that is Hoopa EX. We just play 1 in this deck because that's all we really need. And Hoopa has the ability Bandit Ring, or I forget what it was in the English, Scoundrel Ring, and it allows you to grab, when you play it down to your bench, look through your deck and grab 3 EX Pokemon. So you can grab 2 Ampharos and a Mega, or if you've already got an Ampharos down, you can get another Ampharos and 2 Megas, or you can choose to get 1 Shaman. We play 1 Shaman. That's just to help us get the card flow going. So Shaman has the ability set up when you play Shaman down to the bench. You can draw your hand back up to 6. Now, in some cases you may not need it, but it's always available, and usually you can get Hoopa out by like turn 1 or turn 2, which means that you're getting the Ampharoses going very, very quickly, so you don't have to worry about missing them. I now realize that if you're going to play any Mega deck, or just about any Mega deck, Hoopa needs to be in there because he can quickly get the cards you need very, very fast. So Hoopa and Shaman. Now, ideally, this is what I'm going to tell you, because these 2 are taking up a bench space each. The ideal setup would be 2 Ampharos / Mega Ampharos, and then 2 spaces for Togepi. So you're going to have 6. You're going to have an active, which will probably be an Ampharos because you're going to use this Thunder Rod. You'll have another one on the bench. You'll have these 2 spaces taken up by the support cards. Now that's the only bad thing, is they use up bench space. And then 2 Togepis that are beginning to evolve. That's ideally how you want to get that position in the game as quickly as possible. If you can do that like turn 1 or turn 2, then you're really going to be ahead of the game with this deck. Alright, so that's our Pokemon line. Let's move right along to our supporter line. Now, we start off with 3 Sycamores. Now, normally I tell you to play 4, but because we're playing a lot of energy in this deck, and we don't want to throw that energy away because of Serene Grace, the ability that Togekiss has, we play 1 less Sycamore. That gives us space for 2 Shauna and 2 Birch. Now, ideally, if you have no energy in your hand, then you can go ahead and Sycamore. But if you have a lot of energy in your hand, you don't want to necessarily throw that away. So we play Shauna and Birch to help us recycle the energy back into the deck so that the Serene Grace ability will be that much stronger. We also have another card which I'll talk to you about later that helps us keep energy into the deck. Right, we play 2 Lysander. Now, I've mentioned this multiple times, but Lysander really just wins games. My wife and I were play testing this earlier, and we both had a Lysander in. We both had 1 prize card left. We both had a Lysander in our hand, and whoever was going to win. And she ended up Lysandering up for the last knockout one of my Pokemon on my bench that only had 100 HP, and if she hadn't done that, I would have Lysandered up her Hoopa and knocked it out, so, and would have won. So anyway, guys, that's just the power of Lysander. Now, in Ancient Origins, Lysander is being reprinted, and I highly recommend get as many as you can. At least get a playset, get 4. But if you're going to run multiple decks, you really need to have Lysander in all of your decks. So I'm I know I'm beating a dead horse there, but it's just that important. And then the final support card is just 1 AZ. Now AZ comes in handy for 2 reasons. We can AZ Shaman back up and reuse it, giving us more card draw. But the other thing is, if we have let's say a Togekiss, a Togepi, and a Togetic, and a Togekiss, and then we've got another Togepi ready to go, we can AZ that and go ahead and play the Serene Grace ability again, allowing us to get even more energy accelerated. So AZ helps us with that aspect also. And then also, if somebody's fatally being, gonna get knocked out soon, AZ can heal them and bring them back to your hand. In this case, maybe you tank a Ampharos or a Mega Ampharos, and then start building one up on the bench. You can then AZ the one that's in the active, and then just bring it back to your hand. That's a possibility, though it doesn't happen too often in this deck. So that's our supporter line. We don't have a real thick supporter line, but it seems to work quite well in spite of everything. So that's our supporters. Alright, so let's go right into item cards. Obviously, we need 3 Spirit Links for Ampharos. So we play the 3 Spirit Links. We've got 3 Ultra Balls. We want to be able to get Hoopa out. If he happens to be prized, we want to be able to grab Shaman or an Ampharos or Mega Ampharos or Togekiss. So we play 3 Ultra Balls there to help us get whatever we need. Most likely, though, our first Ultra Ball is going to be going to a Hoopa EX. We also play 2 Level Balls. This is to help us get the Togepi and Togetic line out. If you get Hoopa out and you've got all your Megas, but you don't have the Togepi or Togepi down yet, Level Ball will help you go get those set up. So all the balls that we use, Pokeballs we use, are very, very essential in this deck to help us get everything out we need as quickly as possible. Now, we could play 4 Mega Turbos, but again, we don't have a lot of energy that goes to our discard pile. Only after maybe a Ampharos or Mega Ampharos dies do we have any. So we play just 2 Mega Turbos, and that can just help us accelerate energy out of the discard pile. I would love to have more than just one switching card, but because of the room in this deck is so packed, we just play 1 switch. And then we play 2 energy recyclers. Now this is the card that is very, very useful, especially when you're playing with Togekiss. I think this card was designed specifically for Togekiss, and it's a very, very great card. Let's say in the off chance you have 3 energies in your hand and all you have is a Sycamore, you've already attached for turn, and you need the Sycamore because you got to keep the game pace moving. Go ahead and do it, because chances are you'll run into an energy recycler, and then you get to put those energies right back into your deck, so that when you play Togekiss, you'll have a better chance of drawing into energies and accelerating the energy. Also, after a Mega Ampharos gets knocked out, you're going to have several energies go to the discard pile. If you've got a Mega Turbo in your hand, go ahead and use the Mega Turbo to get the energy out of the discard pile onto another one, but then recycle the other ones that are in the discard pile. Our final item is just a VS Seeker. We play 3 of those. That's just to keep reusing Shauna, Birch, Lysander, Sycamore, whatever we need, we just reuse the supporters. So that is all for the item cards. Alright, then we have Rough Seas, our stadium. We play 3 of them. I have been debating about playing 3 Rough Seas, or maybe just 2, and then also playing 2 Shrine of Memories. Remember that attack that Ampharos has can go through walls. So it would be nice if we could use that attack with Mega Ampharos. So in that case, Shrine of Memories could work very nicely. In this case, we're just playing the Rough Seas to heal off 30 damage. It's nice because we can, with Energy Recycler, we can always retreat one of our Mega Ampharoses if we have the other one ready to go. The energy goes to the discard pile, recycle it back in, use another Togekiss to get the original one back, and while that second Mega Ampharos is on the bench, or I should say the first one that went to the bench, we can then use Rough Seas to heal off any damage on it. Also, if we use Exavolt and we take the 30 damage, Rough Seas will heal that off for us. So it's like we're not really taking any damage from it at all. So anyway, that's why we play 3 Rough Seas, and that's our stadium of choice in this deck. Now, as far as energy goes, we play 14 energies, okay? Now, I know some of you are thinking he's going to play double colorless, but because of Togekiss and because of how many times you can actually get it, you should be able to get it 2 to 3 times every game, and you're going to average about 2 energies per time, maybe even more. Sometimes quite a bit more. We play 12 lightning energy, and then we play 2 flash energy. And at first I was thinking maybe we shouldn't even play the flash energy, but fighting is a thing, and just having those to help against the fighting weakness can be very useful. So having 2 of those helps. Most of the time Now, Togekiss cannot Serene Grace the Flash Energies on, but you'll draw into them, and then you'll be able to have no weakness on that lightning Pokemon. So with that, guys, that is the deck profile for Mega Ampharos. Please hit like and subscribe if you would, if you haven't already. We'd love to have you added to our community here. I want to just say thank you all for all that you've done to help me and my channel, and I'll continue to bring the best quality content that I possibly know how. Anyway, put in the comments what you like about this deck, what you would change about this deck, and tell me, what cards would you add and what cards would you take out. Anyway, guys, this is Pokedad. We will talk to you later. Bye.